Hi friends, this is Jarrod Haning with Mindset Performance. If you have been trying to juggle work and family and feel like all that's left over is stress, and you don't have the free time to spend more with your family, more with your kids while they're growing up, and you don't have the free time to invest in the projects that are going to make the biggest difference in work, and you're tired of juggling all that, and in the process, you're not being seen for what you have to offer, you're not being heard for where you need help, you're not being valued for your ideas or your intelligence, and it's not working. I want to introduce you to this tool, the 3 F's. It will change the way other people hear you. This particular tool is very good for changing other people's minds. As you know, being on Facebook or arguing about politics or whatever it is, facts don't make a difference. Facts only cause the other person to be more resistant to changing their ideas and their way of thinking. Facts, they just don't make a difference. The 3 F's cause the other person to hear what you're saying. If there's a disagreement or a resistance, anywhere there's that breakdown, whether it's at home, in our relationships with home, where there's a disagreement or a breakdown, or at work, whatever it is, the 3 F's bridge that gap so that they hear what you're saying, they see what you're saying, and you guys can now work together. Okay, the first F stands for feel. Whatever the breakdown is, wherever they are saying no, wherever they're resistant, wherever it's just not working, take whatever their no is and say, I understand how you feel. Now, for like a work-related one, let's imagine a sales situation, okay? If you were buying a car and I was selling you a car and you come in and you like the car and at the end of the presentation you're like, you know what, we just can't afford it. Well, can't afford it is kind of a factual thing. You either have the money or you don't. But if you say, we can't afford it, and I respond with, oh, I'm sure you can afford it, let's find a way where you can afford it. Like I'm going to talk you into it, or I'm going to argue with you ways that you could afford it. That doesn't make you want to buy the car. That just makes you more determined to prove that you can't afford it. So arguing about the facts doesn't make a difference. It just makes the situation worse. But if you say, you know what, I can't afford it, and I respond, I totally understand how you feel. What? I was expecting you to attack me or argue with me or hard sell me or something. And I say, hey, I totally understand how you feel. In that relationship at home or at work or wherever it is where there's that breakdown, and they're like, no, it's a bad idea. No, I disagree. No, I don't think that's right. No, that's not, whatever the no is about, don't fight facts with facts. Don't do that. Just say, I understand how you feel. Okay, when you say, I understand how you feel, that doesn't mean you agree with them. It doesn't mean you think they're right. All it means is you can recall a time where you have disagreed with somebody. You remember how it feels to be presented with an idea that you thought was a bad idea. You remember how that feels. And maybe you might have a friend of yours who was in a similar situation. So back to the car analogy. Let's say that you say, you know what, we can't afford it. And I say, I totally understand how you feel. Right away, you got to back it up. Otherwise, it sounds presumptive. It's like, you don't know me. You don't know how I feel. So you back it up right away. So in the case of the car situation, I might say, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. Whoa. And then I would go on to tell a story that explains that I really do know I have felt that way. Whether it's at home or at work, wherever that breakdown is, no, I don't want to do it. No, it's a bad idea. No, I don't like it. No, I disagree. Whatever it is, I understand how you feel. And then you just think of somebody you know that's felt the same way and tell their story. Or a time that you might have felt the same way and tell your story. So, back to the car situation. I understand how you feel, can't afford it. I felt the same way just last month. Tell you what, I was looking at buying a house, loved the house, got to the end of the house, I was like, you know what, there is no way I can afford this house. And just wasn't in the budget, couldn't afford it. What my realtor did though was showed me how my current house, because of the single pane windows and the older doors and the lacking insulation, I was bleeding out so much in energy inefficiency. Showed me a few things about delayed repairs on the roof and the air conditioning system. I was fixing to write a check for $25,000 in the next 2 years to pay for that. showed me some things about the age of my neighborhood and how the appreciation had kind of dropped off. I wasn't getting any money out of the age of the home. I was losing value the longer I stayed in the neighborhood. I tell you what, it wasn't long at all before I found that I couldn't afford not to get the new house. Now here's the distinction. You're presenting new information, but the new information isn't, ha, gotcha. It isn't, no, you're wrong about that, let me show you why. That's not the new information. The new information is, we can't afford it. No, I don't like it. No, that's a bad idea. No, that's not the way we've done it around here. We've always done it. Whatever the no is, I understand how you feel. You know, I understand how it feels to be presented with a new idea that's uncomfortable and sounds bad. I remember I felt the same way. You know, 2 years ago, I was working with my daughter's dance team, and they had this idea that we should handle the travel situation like this. I thought that was the worst idea ever. I felt the same way. Worst idea ever. But I talked to some of the other parents, and what I found was that by handling the travel that way, not only was it cheaper for all the individuals, but it was actually less time and stress on my part. I was totally surprised to find that out. Here's the thing with the new information. The new information is sort of like, wow, man, that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to find that. Or if you're telling a story about a colleague or somebody else that had that experience, man, they were caught off guard. They wasn't expecting to find that. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. This surprised them. Now, if you like that, I've got 2 other tools way more powerful than that one that I want to share with you for being seen, valued, and heard. Just shoot me a message and I'll get you a link to them right away.